So it's 8:15, so we might as well get started. Start with a round of applause, you guys. There's a lot of you. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's get the energy up.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Stop hating people.
Yeah, the show's starting. Come on. Come on.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Woo!
Whoa, whoa. Yeah. Thank you so much, all you people, or not you people. Thank you so much for coming out to this this comedy show. Affirmative Action presents Stand Up to AAPI Hate. More applauding, yeah.
Yay!
You know, the most lactose intolerant comedy show on the East Coast. Yeah, it is. It's funny, but I did think it's nice that we're having this in a Zoom show and not a bar, because otherwise it'd just be a sea of Asians having the flush. Yeah, as many of you guys know, I'm your host for the evening. My name's Nate, and we put together a really great lineup of Asian American identifying comics from all around Boston, even outside of Boston, and New York, marginally close to Boston.
How many people? Oh, 61 too.
Yeah. So it's wonderful to see all you guys coming out and supporting this cause. You know, it's something that's so important to me, and I know everyone in this lineup, as we are all Asian identifying comics, and this is a problem that is deeply ingrained in our community. In the past year alone, Asian American hate crimes have raised by almost 150%, including jumping from 8 to 14 in Boston in the past couple of years. And those are only the reported incidents. I'm hoping that we in this comedy show can raise some money and awareness of these issues and help, you know, promote kind of the cause of Stop Asian Hate, to spread awareness of this to all people, whether you're Asian or you're an ally, you know, to get out there and show that we are all in this fight together and we need all the support we can get. So again, thank you so much for coming out to this. I keep having you guys give yourselves a round of applause, but you deserve another one. You know, I'm honestly in awe of how many people responded to this event. This is great. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about myself. You know, as I said, my name's Nate. I'm biracial, the sporks of people, as I like to call us. I'm a quarter Japanese and a quarter Chinese and a quarter Polish and a quarter German, which, if you string together from world history, essentially means that my ancestors brutally murdered my ancestors and then teamed up with my ancestors to murder the rest of my ancestors. It's a daisy chain of genocides, as I like to call it. You know, I'm a real mixed up kid, you know. I grew up in Melrose, Massachusetts. I don't know how many of you people are from the area, but that's a suburb just north of Boston, famous for having more pizza parlors than it has minorities. Yeah, it's true. If there was a graph of all the minorities in Massachusetts or in Melrose, it would jump up and down like a heart monitor, depending on whether or not I was there in that particular moment. So pretty fun stuff. Yeah, I didn't have a ton of Asian friends growing up, you know, which is kind of ironic because immediately next to my town of Melrose was the town of Malden, which is the most diverse town in all of Massachusetts. So it's kind of like living in the English colony immediately next to Wakanda. You know, kind of experience. I went to public school, you know, obviously. I went to Melrose High School. At the school so racist, we had not one but two NAACP lawsuits against us. The first was when a white teacher told a black student to go back to the plantation, which is only an acceptable cry when it's a rogue pilgrim. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was more of a serious comment than a joke.
Well,
Yeah, the other time, weirdly enough, was when a teacher was fired because they refused to break up a table of African American students for a photo. The arts director headed in and wanted to spread them out around the room so it wouldn't look like they were all sitting together and it would look like there were more of them, which you may also recognize from the technique used by a 5-year-old to try to hide their peas around the plate during dinner, so it makes it look like they've eaten them all. Yeah, it's it was a fun experience, and of course, their response to multiple lawsuits was to bring in an anti-racism improv troupe. Because the best way to solve racism is through making up comedy on the spot. The organization called themselves Urban Improv, with the lack of irony, which really only got us more lawsuits in the end. But it's not all bad. The weirdest part about growing up Asian in Boston is all of the surprise Mark Wahlberg attacks. I always have to give people a second to get that one. It's a thinker, but it shouldn't be. It's not all that bad though. Movies are getting a lot better. The African American community, they just had Black Panther, the story of an African man able to stand up to himself and fight evil. And we in the Asian community, we got Crazy Rich Asians. The story of an Asian man able to stand up to his mother and take his shirt off when he goes to the beach. Yeah, I wrote that joke right before the Shang-Chi trailer came out, so it immediately became dated. Yeah, I've been trying to grow out my facial hair more, which has been kind of a mixed bag, if you can say. As you can see from my hair on the top of my head, it grows at an exponential rate, but my facial hair is growing at an incredibly minuscule rate. It's like the desert and the forest, the difference. But also, when I was thinking about it, there really aren't a ton of bearded Asian role models for me to look up with in American culture. With white people, you have all of the Avengers or every single person named Chris. But in the Asian American community, the last famous bearded Asian we got was Judge Lance Ito at the O.J. Simpson trials. And I don't think Judge Lance Ito is a role model to anyone, unless you're O.J. Simpson.
You had gone out.
Hey, did that person have gone out? Never mind. That was my failed attempt at crowd work. Anyway, I'll tell you some more things about myself, non-racially related things. I actually identify as bisexual, the sporks of people. I'm bisexual in kind of the millennial sense of I'll take what I can get. I'm not exactly getting a ton of options in. I'll it's kind of an open playing field. I'm not exactly, beggars can't be choosers. But I have a fetish for a sexy Amelia Earharts. I like women to turn me on and then vanish mysteriously across the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it's a weird one. But yeah, it's a crazy time, I went to buy pepper spray the other day, for personal security. I had to go to the Army Navy store to get it. And when I walked in and asked the man for it, his first question was, how much do you want to hurt the person using it? Which I feel like shouldn't be your immediate concern when selling pepper spray. And I think that kind of illustrates a lot of the difference between white and Asian culture. Asian people buy pepper spray for self-defense. White people buy pepper spray to assault the people who bought pepper spray for self-defense.
Right.
Oh.
It's but I'm hoping, I'm sorry. But I'm hoping this show can help change things. As Asians, we're told to be these model minorities who keep quiet and who don't stir up trouble. But us as comedians, we demand the exact opposite. We want the biggest reactions possible. We go for the most trouble that we can create. So in a lot of ways, we are helping to defy that stereotype. And it's exhibit no better place than in this lineup. I have a real bug in my mouth. Your first comic, I'll just bring her on. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah, come on. You can do better than that. There's a lot of you in here.
Yo.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Your first comic started off doing open mics around Boston during college and has stuck with it ever since. She's best described as a hybrid between a relatable teenager and a jaded 40-year-old woman. Give it up for Adelynn Paik.
Yay!
Hello. Hi, thanks for coming. I hope you're good. I just finished grad applications, and for part of the application, you need to indicate like which professors you want to work with. So I have spent days just scrolling, reading profiles of old men. So far, I gotta say, not a huge difference between going to grad school and being a sugar baby. Kind of the same at the moment. I am a senior in college, and it is so frustrating that the year that I'm the least annoying, I don't get to be on campus, you know? Like of all the versions of Adelynn who had to be in quarantine, why couldn't it be the one who's not like the other girls, you know? Like, if you like music so much, why don't you stay inside and vibe with the Smiths? Oh God. I was reading my diary entries from this time period, and I had written on an entire sheet of paper, her favorite color was black, so I gave her my heart. Ooh, no, somebody put a face covering over this girl's mouth. That is, of course, a recommendation from the CDC, which here stands for the Center of Dignity Conservation. Jesus. So yeah, I've been doing the whole online school from home thing. And in addition to that, I've been working part-time as tech support and as a therapist. Yeah, is anyone else living with their mom? Great. My mom's she's a piano teacher, but she never let me learn piano growing up because she didn't want me to become a starving artist. Well, looks like she used water to put out the grease fire because I'm a comedian and I have the munchies. But I think that I get to do important work as an Asian American mediocre stand-up. I get to disprove the model minority myth, which is what Nate was talking about. Really quick, the model minority myth is this lie that there's no racism in America because Asian people are successful. Well, that is a lie because I do not excel in life. Here's an example. One day I wanted to see how much my hair weighed, right? So I stepped up on the scale, I weighed myself, I stepped back down, and then I got up a second time. I stuck my neck out. I asked my mom to hold my hair so I can measure the difference. You know how sometimes when you're doing something, you know you look stupid? That was one of those moments. So myth busted. You're welcome. I am an underachiever, and I guess you could say it's the least that I could do. My mom and I were in the parking lot of Costco, and a woman told us to go back to her country. And right off the bat, I could see the Korean skincare in her cart. Like you can't love the K beauty and hate the K. The only other things she had in her cart were 4 loaves of Wonder Bread and 16 ounces of fiber powder, which to me really confirmed that she probably struggles with cause and effect relationships. Yeah. So she says that, and then my mom pulls out her phone, she starts recording, and we start telling her off. And the reason why we were so confident was because this woman had a baby with her. So we were like, okay, today's probably not the day she gets in a fist fight, right? On the other hand, if it had been like a scary looking guy who had more pockets on his camo pants than teeth, then yeah, I would have just pieced out. I would have left. But no, it was this woman with the baby. And like the sad thing is the baby was probably racist too. You know what I mean? Like I just know the mom is at home being like, all right, McKaylee, this nursery rhyme is called Itsy Bitsy Spider Shouldn't Gulp the Water Spout because he's not from the water spout. Anyway, so my mom's recording, we're yelling at her, and about like 30 seconds in, I start to feel weird. And I realize why. It's because I had never yelled with my mom before. You know, like I had never gotten to yell on the same side as my immigrant single mother. It was amazing. So I start to spice it up with a few things I picked up over the years. Yeah, I do like a, which one of your friends did you learn that from? That one's good. I could also do like a, oh, So I'm the bad guy, right? Yeah. Anywho, eventually we both went our separate ways, and I looked over and my mom hadn't been recording. She had been taking photos. So now we have a nice stop motion film of the time we were verbally accosted, which is great.
Wow.
This guy I once dated told me that he was going to be bald by the time he's 40. And that's fine. I just feel like if I were him, I would have worded that better. You know, like I would have said, hey, by the time I'm 40, I can picture us living together in a nice cul-de-sac, kind of like the one that's going to be on my head. I don't know. Weird and awkward. I just, granted, I don't face the same problems as him because I am an Asian woman, so my looks are hardly ever going to change. Like the way that I look now is exactly the way that I looked when I was 40. He wasn't the best partner, but by far I think the worst person I've ever met was my awful high school math teacher. And this dude was straight up sexist because for years I would win this math competition at my school, but this math teacher would only ever praise this one white male student. And this teacher was so awful, so sexist, that he was the only one I've ever met who I wished would be a little more racist. You know, like just a tad, just to give me the credit for being a mathematician. Let's not get too crazy. That dude was awful. Yeah. When I was 10, I had a stroke. And thank God, honestly, because I never have to come up with a fun fact about myself ever again. It turns out, though, I had this disease where one of the arteries in your brain explodes. And when I first heard that, it blew my mind. But because of all this, I was paralyzed on the right side of my body. And the first time I went into the doctor's office, the doctor was like, oh my God, Adelynn, half of you is dead. I was like, yeah, the inside half. It's kind of funny though, because I have that disease, like the paralysis, but I also have a personality disorder. So it's almost like Mother Nature was like, yes, we're going to give her a bad personality, but don't worry, she's not going to move around with it, you know, like she's going to stay put with all of her problems. She knew what she was doing. The first time the paralysis happened, though, I was actually locked inside the bathroom of my friend's house. And as I was squirming around on the floor, trying to get to the door with my left hand, my mom in the next room over thought that I was having a temper tantrum. So she starts knocking angrily on the door. As I'm lying there, I can't help but get excited because for the first time ever, I'm about to win an argument against my mom. It was so worth the nerve damage. It was great. I am right-handed though, so when I was in the hospital, I had a hard time signing cards to all my friends. And I remember saying, it's okay if I can't write with my right hand because I can just learn to write with my left. And I think I have to credit that sort of spirit and character to my dad, because when I was younger, and I'll never forget this, my dad couldn't get the family dynamic right, so he left.
Oh.
On the topic of daddy issues.
Oh.
It's fine, I promise. On the topic of daddy issues, I told my therapist that this guy that I like is going to be a teaching assistant for one of my classes this semester. And she cut me off mid-sentence immediately. She was like, how do you feel about that? And I was mildly offended. I was like, how bad are my daddy issues that one responsible man could like be my last straw, you know? But to her credit, I do get excited for the 1 hour every week that he teaches this class called recitations, or as I like to call them, visitations. Thank you. That one's for the children of divorce who are here with us today. And that's my time. Thank you so much, you guys.
Yay!
Yeah. Keep it going for Adelynn, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny Adelynn talked about how old she looked because I've had this same face since I was like 14. I was essentially looked like a 40-year-old man for that entire time. I think I'm the only person I know who's ever been carded at a bar for looking older than they do on their ID. Real thing that happened to me. Weird time. You guys ready for your next comic?
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next comic is hilarious. He's performed all over the Boston area. You can fork him on GitHub, whatever the hell that means. Give it up for the very funny Jimmy Zhang.
Yeah.
Hey, hello. That's right. I'm telling jokes from the comfort and safety of my own room, where I won't get hate crime unless I self-harm.
Oh.
Just kidding. So, it's okay.
Is that your end, Jimmy?
That was not me.
Okay.
Yes, there's an argument going on.
Yeah, whoever that is, if you can mute your mic, please.
Anyways,
Carry
I
on.
won't get hate crimed here. Yay. But you know how it is. It's way too racist outside. That's why I've been inside this entire time. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I've been going outside selectively, you know. I've been supporting essential workers every time by doing very simple things, by the way. Like, for example, in solidarity with restaurant workers, I've been tipping 20%. I also tip my DoorDash driver, right? In solidarity with grocery store workers, I always wear a mask when I shop for groceries. Very simple things. And finally, in solidarity with sex workers, I've been working my corporate job completely butt naked. My coworkers, they can't tell. You can't tell, right? Am I wearing pants? Who knows? It's a mystery. Look, all I'm saying is anytime you can get paid to dress like Winnie the Pooh, I think is a win in my book, okay? So that's how I'm handling it. So economists are stupid because they keep saying, oh, it's looking to be a K-shaped economic recovery. I think that's just so dumb because from my perspective, I think it's going to be more like a KKK-shaped economic recovery. So Andrew Yang is running for mayor now. I used to phone bank for him back when he was running for president, but just to actually troll him though, I got kicked out because I kept saying Yang Gang, Gang Bang every time I picked up the phone. Obviously not their messaging. I had to get kicked out when they found out, right? But I did sign up 5 families in Iowa to a gangbang. So I'm just a really good marketer is what I'm saying. And also yay to Asian men, right? Can we get a yay for Asian men?
Yay!
Remember when Kumail Nanjiani, he worked out because he got cast in a superhero movie. He got really ripped and posted a thirst trap on Twitter. Remember that? All the white girls acting like they missed out. But here's the thing. South Asian men, they've been hot. They've been hot. They've just been a secret, you know? They're like a delicious curry that Alison Romaine hasn't discovered yet. Their people wrote the Kama Sutra, okay? They know how to fuck. As for me, I'm Chinese. My people built the railroads, but no girl has ever come up to a Chinese man and been like, oh, I want you and your friends to run train on me. Until Andrew Yang. Yang, gang, gang, bang, baby. Yang, gang, gang, bang. All right. Apologies if that was too much. I'll tone it down a little bit by making fun of white people.
Thank you.
I don't like white people who like Asian fusion food. It's like very suspicious to me, right? It's more like Asian dystopian food. Like it's the kind of food my grandma would make if she married a white guy. Right? Like, yeah, we married grandma off for money, and now everything's just like how Dave likes it for some reason. Like Asian food is rich and full of stories, you know? I remember my grandma trying to get me to eat the tail part of a fish because it would make me a really good swimmer, right? You know, you eat the part of the animal and you gain the attribute of that animal, right? And I said to my grandma, no, I don't want to eat fishtail. I want to eat horse cock.
Dude.
Oh my God.
Guys, is it gay to want to eat horse cock? See, these are the kinds of stories that you're missing with Asian dystopian food. All right. So whenever I meet a white male comedian, and there's a lot of them in the scene, just letting you know. Whenever I meet them, I'm outwardly very nice to them, but in my head, I'm thinking, okay, how hard would it really be to like automate away your job? Not your comedy job that you think is your job, but your day job, like your job. You know, all right, I'm sorry, that was rough. A little bit of economic anxiety. All right, I'll say something nice about white people to balance it out, which is that they donate the most plasma of all other ethnic groups, I think.
That's so
Like, say what you
weird.
want about white people, but they donate the most plasma. Like, they might be racist, but they will jump at the chance to help someone with cerebral palsy.
怎么样？
Sabrina 还没
你什么时候开始？哦，这谁呀、
What? Like, all right, so like one individual, according to them, is if one individual is not given a fair chance, we gotta help. But if the entire system is rigged, they're like, no, it's not. All right, how am I doing on time?
You got like 3 minutes left.
Oh man. Holy shit. All right. Okay. All right. I have anxiety. All right. I have anxiety from social media, y'all. Anyone else get jealous looking at your friends' activities on Venmo? 'Cause Venmo hits different, you know what I mean? Like, you might suspect through Facebook that your friends are having a good time without you, but Venmo has the receipts. Lately, I've figured out Instagram though. Like, I'm not very popular on Instagram, but I do manage my parents' dog's Instagram account. Her name is Apollo. She's a German Shepherd. Dogs do well on Instagram. Oh my God. Women love Apollo. You know, I post as myself on Instagram. I get like 10 likes maybe. I post as Apollo, hundreds of likes easily. I realize, not that I do this, but like I realize that I could easily bark at women as a dog on Instagram, and they'll just be like, oh, this is cute. Like, I don't do that because I'm a good boy.
Oh.
But on Instagram as a dog, I'm a bad bitch. All right. I got some one-liners.
Well, you got 1 minute, so.
Oh, nice. You know, I think I'll end on that because I don't think I'll ever top myself as a dog. So that's the lasting image that I want to leave with you guys, is just pretend that all the vulgar shit I've been saying is from a German Shepherd. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Woo. Yeah, I'd like to take a moment to shout out my 90-year-old grandmother, who just listened to all that Yang Gang 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 jokes, and also Andrew Yang, who is the only politician ever to come to one of my comedy shows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he
Wow.
walked in, saw the comedy show was going on, and immediately walked out.
Oh.
No, he took a photo with us, but still, we weren't even good enough for Andrew Yang. Anyways, you guys ready for your next comic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys ready for your next comic?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. This comic has performed in the Women in Comedy Festival in Boston and is the host of Tall Tale Short Tale every month on 2MB Studios on Twitch. Give it up for Ms. Nora Panahi.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you. I know you're all thinking, oh, fucking finally a white person. I feel so much more comfortable now. That's why I'm here. They spliced me in the middle just so all of the white people watching could take a breather. I'm half white. I'm also half Iranian. Are there any Iranians watching? No? Okay, good. Don't identify yourselves publicly. This is being recorded. Could someone, if I'm going to do it again, because I prepared two versions. If I'm going to say, are there any Iranians watching? And then I need someone to like raise their hand or just say yes. Okay. Are there any Iranians watching?
Yes.
Get them! I'm really excited to be here. I love doing shows with Affirmative Reaction. I've performed with most of the people who are on this lineup. They're some of the freaking funniest people in and around Boston and in New England. So I am very honored to be on this show. We get the Southwest Asians into the East Asian group. I'm very happy. I am, like I said, I'm half Iranian and I'm half white. Which is very exciting. When I was born, however, my dad did not feel comfortable putting Caucasian on my birth certificate, even though Iran is right up in the Caucasus region. So we're the original Aryans. So yay. Gotta keep that Iranian bloodline pure. But on my birth certificate, my dad was so torn about what he was going to put that he actually ended up putting down Asian American on my birth certificate. And every time we give him shit for it, he's like, it's accurate. Of course she's Asian. Look at her. You guys can decide that her yourselves. Whenever people find out that I'm Iranian, mostly because it's the most interesting thing about me, so I bring it up as quickly as possible, especially when I'm talking to people of color or members of the AAPI community, because I'm like, I'm not one of you, but like, if there is a race war, I can like help, like I'll inform on the other white people for you. I will clean your bathroom. Like I will do whatever you need. Just don't I don't know, whatever you need from me. Whenever people find out that I'm Iranian, they ask, especially when I'm dating, they're like, oh, could you I don't know, talk dirty to me in Farsi or something. But the only thing I know how to say in Farsi is death to America. So that's usually a mood killer. One person who does the death to America, the talking dirty in Farsi is my girlfriend. My girlfriend is half Chinese. I have a half Chinese girlfriend and I'm half Iranian. And so together we make one full enemy of the state. A beautiful foundation for any relationship, truly. I feel like dating a half Chinese person, I feel like during this whole Stop Asian Hate movement, I feel like I'm doing my part, Like I'm nice to her sometimes. I drive her places. She's sitting in the background. You can see her feet. Asian feet here. People log in for hot, socked feet. Not here for the comedy. I'm so sorry. This is I'm gonna get yelled at after this, but that's okay. I feel like one thing that I'm really glad that I'm dating someone who is different than me racially, not just because when I get her pregnant, our baby is going to be just a beautiful, fully immunized against every disease, just because got to mix those bloodlines, prepare the child, not going to get mumps. We won't have to vaccinate it. I feel really lucky because I'm learning a lot about a different culture than mine, even though she's half Chinese. It's, that's enough. That's enough for me. But I feel like, I don't know if there are any other biracial people. I know Nate talked about being biracial. If there are any other biracial people watching, I don't know if you guys get FOMO when people are racist to other people, you know? Does that make sense? Like, no one's ever racist to me. And I feel like I am being left out. Like I can't post like really long Twitter threads about like getting accosted at the grocery store or anything. I just post long Twitter threads about my cat, and those don't get a lot of traffic, but I like it more for me. But I feel like, you know, Asian hate against the Asian community, specifically, you know, people who are from East Asia, is so underreported, as we know, and it's so kept quiet about because a lot of this, you know, it happens in communities that don't speak a lot of English, or it happens in communities that don't really trust law enforcement in their communities. But I feel like it's not a competition between who's traumatized the most, but I feel like Muslim hate and Middle Eastern hate is almost talked about less, because Muslim hate and Middle Eastern hate, along with Asian and Black hate, you know, it's still accepted in some liberal spheres. Like freaking Borat keeps winning awards. They made another Borat movie in fucking 2020. I thought we're done with being racist, but we're gonna let this white guy pretend to be Muslim and then we're gonna give him awards for it. I hate Borat as much as I hate Mark Wahlberg and Ben Affleck. These are just the rants that I go on a daily basis, but when I can tie it back to what the show's supposed to be about, it counts as comedy. Another thing that I've experienced as a biracial, bi-ethnic person is gatekeeping within my own community, within, you know, the Muslim community and the Swana community. Because I look white and I am half white, there's always that extra step, you know, for me to prove myself. And that's something that I've experienced in comedy, because obviously I talk a lot about being Middle Eastern when I do stand up. And there was a show that I did when I was in like my formative years of being a young, like, you know, younger than Adelynn, like a young blossoming college comedian who just really wanted to get up on stage and tell her jokes and talk about her identity. And after this show, this more established comic who's from India came up to me and he was like, I need to talk to you about something. I was like, yeah, of course, I respect you. You're in a position of power. I'll take any advice that you want. And he said, you need to stop talking about being Middle Eastern on stage, because you're not Middle Eastern, you're white. So stop co-opting my struggle to tell jokes. And that's when I realized that he was right. I am white, because white people love co-ops. I didn't take the time to explain to him that India is not in the Middle East, so it was not tell me anything. Like, I'm not going to say to him, hey, you need to stop talking about being Indian because it offends me. You need to cater your comedy to me. That's why I'm here, not to have fun, but to tell you what to do. I am also, I know Nate mentioned being bisexual, which I didn't know. I should have guessed from the new long hair, but I didn't know, which is awesome because I'm also bisexual. One of my biggest fears growing up, knowing that this was, you know, a part of me, was that I'm really appreciating the conversation that's going on in the comments about the name of Iran. It's great. It is, we could have called it Persia, but let's not correct people about the name of Iran. It's called the Axis of Evil. Let's be consistent, people. Sorry, but what was I saying? Yeah, so I was very afraid to come out to my dad because my dad's Iranian and Iran is not very good about LGBTQ rights. So I was nervous. I would kind of test the waters growing up with my dad to see how he would react when other gay stuff happened in the news, so I could kind of ease into coming out to him when I was ready. And so I don't know if you guys are familiar with these books that I don't think they were written by anybody, but they're called the Harry Potter series. They just kind of popped up one day. And I think it was just the ether one day spoke over Twitter. It wasn't the author, because there was no author, saying that one of the characters, Dumbledore, was gay. and that it had been that the character had been written as gay throughout the entire series. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. My dad loves Dumbledore. He loves Harry Potter. And so I brought it to him to see, like, I was like, Dad, they said that Dumbledore is actually gay. How mad are you at Dumbledore? Do you still love Dumbledore? Can Dumbledore still come home for Thanksgiving? And my dad got really angry, which I was really surprised about. He was like, no, Dumbledore is not gay. And I was like, oh shit, this is terrible. Like, I'm gonna have to wait another few years to come out to this guy. He goes, Dumbledore's not gay. Dumbledore is asexual. It's obvious. And I was like, yeah, man, that is what the A stands for. Good job. I was so happy. And, like when I did come out to my dad, he was a little bit dubious about it. He was like, I don't want to know anything about that. But that was right around the 2018 primaries when this politician by the name of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was elected to the United States Congress. And when my dad and I both locked eyes on this woman, we formed a connection that only shared attraction for some hot bitch can bring two people together. And so he's really fine with it now. He's like, yeah, let's just turn on CNBC and turn the sound off, So what I'm trying to say is, if you guys want to connect with your dads, just objectify women. That's all the time that I have. But thank you so much for having me. My name is Nora Panahi. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, everyone else on this show. And please stick around because everyone else on this show is freaking awesome.
Yeah, that was great. I'm kind of bisexual in the sense that no one ever guesses that I'm not bisexual, biracial in the sense that no one ever guesses that I'm biracial. I have like all the confidence of a white person, but none of the societal benefits. Like if anything, I have to deal with the biracial gatekeepers who don't think I look biracial enough, You guys ready for your next comic?
Yeah.
Yeah. This next comic has performed at Laugh Boston, Improv Boston, Cambridge Community Underground, which is a show I help produce, Last Comic Standing, the New York, Salem, and Boston Comedy Festivals. He runs his own show, Comics Who Showered, every week at the Comedy Studio on their social media. Give it up for Mr. Peter Liu.
Yeah, thank you, Nate. That's a very long intro. I gotta cut that shorter. That's what that's. Man, it's great to be here doing this show. Full lineup of Asians. I don't really know how to start anymore. They took all the good jokes, is what I'm saying. They took all the good Asian jokes, left me to talk about I don't know what. But Asian hate crimes, yeah, they've been on the spike, and I think even the beginning of COVID, like Asian hate crimes were spiking, and no one was talking about them. Like this, in New York City, this Chinese woman was attacked for like wearing a face mask by a black guy. And I was like, yo, what the fuck, man? I thought we were supposed to be allies after everything we've been through. Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3. Movies mean nothing to you? Come on. But no, this most recent wave of hate crimes have been towards elderly Asian people, and it's mostly been by other minorities, and that's really messed up, because if anyone deserves to commit violence towards elderly Asian people, it's young Asian people. Centuries of tiger parenting, like words are hurtful, is what I'm saying. Like, get a line. Oh man, yeah, that's I would throw in some Mark Wahlberg jokes, but I feel like they've been overdone for tonight, so I'm gonna change topics, guys. I'm gonna change topics, lighten it up for a little. I used to live with 3 dudes, which means we had a rodent problem.
Yeah.
I found some of their droppings in my protein powder. The mice, not my roommates.
Oh.
all of a sudden made sense why like we haven't been able to catch it. I was like, we got a juiced up mouse on the loose, just like bench pressing his way out of mouse traps. He's a literal gym rat, right?
Oh.
Purposely getting stuck just to get more reps in. He's the mice that one of the other mice find an oatmeal cookie. He's like, nah, bro, I don't do carbs after 5. Yeah, I just moved out of that apartment, and I put up my room on Craigslist. And, you know, when you put your stuff up on Craigslist, you get some weird people. This one guy messaged me, interested in the apartment. I'm like, cool, man. Can you tell me a little about yourself, when you're looking to move? And he said, oh, I'm a 43-year-old construction worker. I moved in with my girlfriend too soon, and now I need to be smarter than I am lonely. Good start. It's a good start. At least he's being honest, right? At least he's being honest. And then he said, you know, I keep to myself. I'm quiet. I like Pokemon, not for life, but for hobby. Now, I think it's funny that this guy had to clarify that Pokemon was a hobby and not his career. Like, unless your name's Ash Ketchum, I'm assuming Pokemon ain't your career. Okay, I'm telling him about this room, right? I'm telling him about the room. Like, oh, it's a big room, access the attic, plenty of storage. And he said, oh my God, I'll take it right now. I got a bunch of anime dolls and I don't have space to store them. Probably like a third red flag at this point. I'm like, you don't want to like at least check it out first? And he's like, oh, my situation with my girl is really going downhill. I'm afraid I might lose my TV. Plus, you seem like a solid dude. If we could lock it up right now, I'll throw in some legendaries. Legendaries. He said, yeah, holographic legendaries. Like, you talking about Pokemon cards? Like, yeah, I got a first edition Charizard. Should knock a few $100 off rent. Do you trade? I was confused for 2 reasons. One, when an adult asks you that question, is usually about stocks. And 2, this 43-year-old man just tried to negotiate a rental application with Pokemon cards. I assume he would do the same with utilities, right? Like, oh, I'll give you a Pikachu for electricity, a Squirtle for water, and a Charmander for when my girlfriend burns the place down. So, I'm supposed to meet up with this guy, right? I'm supposed to meet up with him, but he actually didn't show. So, you know, I got ghosted by the Pokemon guy.
Oh God!
All right, I got Gengared by the Pokemon guy. I figured, you know, 2 things could have happened. Either, you know, Team Rocket finally got to him, or, you know, his girlfriend left him for a Yu-Gi-Oh player or something. Now, I don't like getting ghosted, so I looked this guy up on Facebook, right? James O'Reilly, first one that pops up. Relationship status is complicated. I'm like, okay, this is the right guy. Also, first instance in history that's been an accurate description of a relationship, by the way. I look him up, and this guy, I was surprised. He's a huge dude. He's like 6 feet tall, jacked, like carrying construction equipment everywhere. Not at all what I was expecting. But it kind of makes sense because, you know, had he been not his size, he probably would have been bullied out of his hobbies much earlier in life. So I sent him one last message, right? I'm like, hey man, what happened? You sent me your credit, your pay stubs, your driver's license, everything. We're supposed to meet up. You didn't show. What's going on? And then a day passes, he messaged me back and he said, hey, sorry man, couldn't make it, gonorrhea scare.
Oh God! Oh my God! Oh gee!
I was like, all right, no problem, man. I hope you catch them all.
Oh God!
Pokemon, not the STDs, but both. Maybe both. I don't know. I don't really care. Speaking of which, a lot of talk about vaccines recently, right? A lot of talk about vaccines. I work with herpes and HIV in my day job, and I've always thought, wouldn't it be cool if the cure could also be sexually transmitted? Because then instead of being STDs, they'd be STVs, right? Sexually transmitted vaccines. This way, if you catch like a cold, like COVID, you could just like sleep with Dr. Fauci. Awesome idea, right? Guys would probably start listing STVs on their dating profiles. Like, hey, what's up, baby girl? I got mumps, measles, and rubella. UDTH, down to heal. It would be cool. Think about it. The entire medical system we get revamped. People are like, oh, what health insurance are you with? Oh, Blue Cross Blue Shield? I'm with Grindr. Yo, getting shots suck. So, if I'm going to get penetrated, I might as well enjoy it. I'm just saying, I think STVs would be the fastest way to get everyone vaccinated for COVID. I mean, sure. Some people would pose, right? They'd say they're anti-vaxxers, but I call them for what they really are. Virgins.
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 Oh.
Like, all right, cool. I'll do one last one. I'll get out of here. It's this is for a good cause, so I want to spread some inspiration. Anyone into inspirational quotes in the crowd?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. One person said yes, so that's enough. That's two. There we go. I'm gonna share this one that I read recently. It's a Japanese one. It goes Nana korobi yaoki, and it translates roughly to fall down 7 times, get up 8. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. It's very famous. Now, the Japanese are a very persistent people, and you can tell by their proverbs and their war crime. But not very good at math on this one, right? Unlike the Chinese, the original Asians. The saying should really be fall down 7 times, get up 7 times. Right? You fall once, you get up once. You fall twice, you get up twice. You can't get up more times than you fell. That's like saying fall asleep 7 times, wake up 8. Jerk off 7 times, come 8. Doesn't make any sense. But hey, look, I get it. They're exaggerating. They're trying to be inspirational. They're exaggerating for effect. But I'm going to share the Chinese one. I think you're going to like it a lot better. It makes a lot more sense. Don't fall. All right, you guys have been wonderful. My name is Peter Lou. Have a good night.
Good night.
Whoa.
That one's for you, Joey.
Yeah, keep it going for Peter, everybody. And for his landlord, who seems to be the only person in history ever to get laid playing Pokemon cards. Anyway, before we bring up our last comic, I just want to take a moment and talk about what this is a fundraiser for. We're all kind of gathered here today to raise money for Stop Asian Hate, which is a grassroots organization led by college students in the Boston area, directly aimed at combating Asian American hate crimes and raising awareness of communities and trying to build allies between all the other ethnic communities in Boston. And it's honestly so impressive what these 3 kids essentially have pulled off, Manny, Ryan, and Janet, basically able to plan and run this whole organization that has 60,000 followers on Instagram while also keeping up a full college class load. I mean, it's really impressive. So before I bring up our last comic, I'm going to play a message real quick from one of the planners, Manny Chong. Hold with me for a second. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Page along with Ryan and Janet.
Sorry, I'm gonna start from the beginning. There we go. You can all hear it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Just making sure.
Hey guys, my name is Manny. Just wanted to make this quick video. I spearhead Stop Asian Hate's Instagram page along with Ryan and Janet, and the three of us, we organized the Stop Asian Hate Boston rally on March 13th, so over a month ago. I myself, I've been to several rallies across different major cities to support, organize, and get connected with a lot of folks, and I've just been super blessed to be part of that, to be part of the movement, and being able to work with and come together and link with a lot of like-minded individuals. And for example, I got to connect with Nate. Nate was one of the people who got to speak at our event, and I'm just super grateful to connect with Nate, and shout out to Nate for putting this comedy show together, and for all the people involved in this. Super grateful for your guys' support, and some of the money going to our cause. And so just a little bit more about our cause and what we stand for. Stop Asian Hate, there's really three main components. The first one is raising awareness, as we have already been doing and continue to do, as people, and across the country and even the world. There's been a lot of rallies trying to raise awareness that this is a legitimate issue, and I feel like we've done that a lot over the past month. And the next thing that we're trying to figure out is promoting inter-community alliances. We're trying to bridge gaps within the Asian community that are not normally existing, and even with the Black and Brown community, because we realize our struggle is not mutually exclusive. There are a lot of oppressive forces that impact our minority communities, and we got to come together. And so actually next weekend we have a rally in Lowell to raise awareness, and this is also a great opportunity because for me, I'm Chinese, and connecting with a lot of Southeast Asians, especially Cambodians, and bridging that gap with East Asian and Southeast Asians coming together, that is a powerful bridge. And part of that is continuing to raise awareness, but even connecting with communities that I would not normally be a part of. And so that's sort of our next steps as well, and trying to do more events like that, where we're going to connect with different Asian communities, different Black and Brown communities. And last but not least, Stop Asian Hate is about us, as individuals, and our power, and our healing, individually and collectively as a community. How do we come together? And so we're trying to figure all that out, but at least our next steps, we're really trying to push for community. We're trying to build community and trying to build these gaps, and we got to address some of the difficult questions. But anyways, thank you again. I hope it's a great event tonight. Super grateful again for all of your guys' continued support. If you guys support, want to connect, please hit me up at Community Curator on Instagram, or on the Stop Asian Hate page at Stop Asian Hate, and hope to connect with you guys. Much love.
Yeah, so give it up for Manny.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, if you want to learn more about Stop Asian Hate and their organization, the best way is to go directly to their Instagram, which is just Stop Asian Hate. There they have a link tree where you can donate directly to them and some other causes, and just learn more about them and their work, and the cause. So you guys ready for your last comic?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Your last comic is a Brooklyn-based writer and comedian who's been selected for the Women in Comedy Festival, Laughing Skull, and the Boston Comedy Festival. She's currently on the writing staff for Disney Plus's reboot of Doogie Howser. That's like a whole new Asian doctor stereotype, In hindsight, I do really regret having the last two comics of my show have last names that rhyme directly with mine, but give it up for Sabrina Wu.
Thanks so much, Anne. Thanks for having me. Hey everybody, yeah, I'm Sabrina. One time I asked my dad why he named me Sabrina, and he said, your mom and I were playing a game of poker, and whoever won got to decide. Now, if your mom won, she was gonna name you after the movie Sabrina, but if I won, I was gonna name you after the rare earth metal europium. I was like, what the fuck? And then I felt so bad because, he's like a good man. He fled communist China, poor and alone, a better life he wanted to give to his daughter, europium. I turned out fine. My brother, not as much. Because the only thing harder than being the only person named europium is being yet another Asian boy named Kevin. Burn. Sorry. I honestly, like, my dad is kind of a goof, so I was like, whatever. My mom, I just can't believe my dad was gonna name me europium, and she was like, yeah, let's play a game of chance to decide. The thing is, I think she kind of just knew that she would get her way. She's this story is true and kind of dark, but you can laugh. Basically, she's so powerful. Recently, there was an armed standoff between my parents' next door neighbor and the police. It was 37 hours long. This guy had like semi-automatic weapons. Bullets were like flying out of his house. It was very dangerous. The police basically had very strict orders. They were like, all residents need to stay in their home. Like a mile radius was blocked off. Like residents need to stay in their home and hide in their basement. And my mom told my dad to take the dog out for a poop.
Oh my God.
And my dad did it. He tried.
Oh God.
He went out and then the police were like, are you dumb? My mom was like, yeah, just go around, in reference to the blockade, which is very hard to go around. The thing that I love is that my dog was just so happy to be greeted by all these people. But my dog knew what was happening. Do you think she would want to be walked? Because I think put a gun to my dog's head, she'll learn how to use a fucking bidet, right? She'll come out speaking Japanese and she'll tell you what all the buttons do. Another moment with my mom. When I was in high school, I was the Ann Arbor area girls basketball high school MVP. I'm not that good at basketball. What happened was there was this article, and to win that title, you had to get the most number of votes of girls nominated. And my mom took that article and posted it on WeChat. And I went viral in China. We're freaking the fuck out. They were like, wait, there's a Chinese girl that's good at basketball in America, the land of basketball. And I won, but I never got like a profile written about me in the local newspaper. I think because they were suspicious about the fact that the second place girl had 600 votes and I had 200,000 votes.
Oh my God.
So I'm obviously Asian. I'm also gay. So everybody just thinks I'm from California. But I'm actually from the Midwest. Don't think I'm too vanilla. This next bit is so dumb, but it is better if you all buy in. Okay. My greatest sexual fantasy, I'm a cop. She's also a cop. I walk in, I'm like, you're under arrest. But she's like, you're under arrest. And then we're both like, whoa, if I'm here and you're here, then this is kind of a waste of taxpayer money. And then we do it doggy style, hyper realistically out of respect to our canine units. Now, second greatest sexual fantasy. Okay, I'm home alone. She's away. Now, my third greatest sexual fantasy.
How does that work?
It doesn't. Okay, my third greatest sexual fantasy. I'm hot and in high school again. I'm like, oh my God, thanks for meeting me under the bleachers. She's like, sure, thanks for bringing alcohol. I'm like, oh my God, can I kiss you? She's like, what the fuck? No, I'm not gay. I'm like, right. And then we both go to prom with boys. Fantasy. No, I've dated closeted women. It has been very hard on me. The lowest point of my life, I would say, like the lowest point. And I've had my fair share of battles with depression, but the lowest point in my life, I was seeing somebody for a year, and we're laying together, and she turns to me at night, and she's like, you know, like, I've had so much fun with you. I care about you so much. I was wondering, do you think that would you maybe want to be my squirrel friend? She said squirrel friend because saying girlfriend was too fucking weird for her. Lowest point of my life. I responded.
Oh.
You know how much you have to fucking hate yourself? You agree to be a squirrel when you've known since high school the last thing you want is fucking nuts? Are you crazy? Oh my God. Yeah, high school was hard. I learned, I was somebody who was like, oh yeah, I'll have more friends if I just like learn cool tricks. So I learned how to beatbox. It did not get me more friends. Just people kept asking me, you know, when did you discover you could beatbox? Which is not how it works. But I love the idea of a person just going through life like, huh. What the fuck? Anyways, the other thing I learned, were some impressions. You guys want to hear some impressions?
Yeah.
First one. That was a hot girl pooping. Okay. Second impression. Some people think that's a clock. That was actually a really shy horse.
Oh.
Okay. Let's see. I love doing comedy. But sometimes I don't have like great ideas always. And then sometimes I get these like floods of ideas late at night and I have to record it all very quietly because my roommates are sleeping. Like I don't have time to write it out. So I record it. And there's just like nothing scarier than listening to yourself manically whispering stand up the next morning. And like, I only use the voice memo app for like that and grocery lists. And my roommates were like, one time they texted me like, what do we need to get? And I sent them a voice memo that was just me like, that's right, I'll say it. I think white people like bread too much. And they texted back, we get the bread for you. Okay, I have one other thing I'm great at. I kind of think I have this amazing gaydar. Like I'm really good at calling it when people are gay. And the way that I do that is that I call everybody gay. Like, to me, all of you are gay. And then when statistically 10% of you come out on Facebook, I do comment, haha, called it. There's obviously no way of actually telling, but I do have this theory that every girl in high school who learned this move is now a lesbian. And every girl who learned this is a really good dancer. Okay. Last very serious thing. There is a children's book that is widely taught and critically acclaimed called Tiki Tiki Tembo. The first sentence of this book is there once was a Chinese boy named Tiki Tiki Tembo, no saw Rembo, Cherry Berry Ruchi, Pip Berry Pembo. No, there wasn't. I once knew a real Chinese man. His name was Li. And then this white author was confronted about it. Like, apparently she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't speak Chinese. I just wrote down what I heard my neighbor say. So we're gonna do an experiment. I'm gonna say real Chinese, and then at some point I'm gonna switch to not quite Chinese. I won't tell you when. You tell me when. Okay. 我的名字是吴俊怡，我很喜欢吃西瓜，而且你有没有听说这个书叫 Tiki Tiki Tembo, No Saw Rembo, Very Very Ruchi, Very Pembo. I've done that joke a million times, and you guys are the first group that has gotten it. Okay, that's all I have for y'all. Thanks for having me. Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, keep it going for Sabrina, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the great comics you've seen on this lineup. This has been an amazing night. We've managed to raise, let me see, I have the number down here, $1,820 for Stop Asian Hate. So give yourselves a round of applause. That's pretty damn great. Yeah, thank you so much for coming out and watching the show, supporting all these amazing talents. If you want to see more from Affirmative Reaction, follow us on our Facebook page of Affirmative Reaction. All these comics, they have their own social media and their own bookings, so like check them out as well. Support Asians in arts, and have a good evening or a good night at this point.
Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
One for Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks.
Yay.
This was fun.
Just stop the recording now.